Imagine standing on the football field, and across from you is a man who strikes fear into the toughest players. He moves like a freight train, tackles with the power of a bulldozer, and changes the game in ways no one ever imagined. That man is Lawrence Taylor, also known as LT. Many call him the greatest defensive player in NFL history, and for good reason. He was an unstoppable force who transformed the linebacker position and redefined what it meant to be a defender. Let's dive into the life, career, and legacy of the GOAT of defense. Lawrence Taylor was born on February 4, 1959 in Williamsburg, Virginia. Unlike most football stars, Taylor wasn't overly serious about the sport while growing up. He loved baseball and was naturally skillful in sports from the very beginning. The talent he possessed didn't surface until later in life. However, he didn't take football seriously until his junior year of high school. Even then, he played mostly for fun, without ever realizing that the game would make him unspeakably rich in the future. His parents worked hard to keep him out of trouble, which led him to play baseball as a young athlete. LT was a standout on the baseball field and was recruited by his high school football coach due to his size and athletic ability. After joining the University of North Carolina, Taylor broke multiple records, proving he had the potential to be a star player. In the beginning, he was only a special teams player, but he later switched to linebacker, where his natural aggression and speed made him stand out. During the 1980 season, the Tar Heels had a memorable year, and Taylor was the face of the defense. He made 16 sacks during his senior season and also became an All-American. He became one of the most feared defenders in college football, and NFL scouts started taking notice. Coach Dick Crum once said about LT, "He had such tremendous ability. You didn't coach Lawrence Taylor, you just turned him loose and let him do his thing," emphasizing his dominance on the field. In the 1981 NFL Draft, the New York Giants chose him as the second overall pick. People thought he was going to be great, but little did they know he would change the game entirely. From his first game as a rookie, it was easy to see how great LT was. He was a speed demon, and he had the skill to slip through blockers in every game, in addition to having a relentless tactical defense. Before Taylor arrived in the NFL, linebackers had a traditional role. The specific understanding by football players was that linebackers stopped the run, covered tight ends, and provided general support to the defensive line. Sometimes blitzing was a tactic, but pass rushing mainly belonged to defensive ends. Taylor was the one who ended these old theories. From the very first year of his career until the time he retired, Taylor displayed a versatile profile at the linebacker position, not limited to only being an attacker. Taylor's speed in rushing the QB, coupled with the high velocity he generated while doing so, made him a unique weapon. Moreover, he was also really hard to deal with when blocked by offensive linemen and too tough for backs to resist. Taylor ended offensive coordinators' one-way thinking approach to rushing with his amazing sprint at the line of scrimmage. Teams had to adjust their strategies to counter Taylor's defense. In 1982, for the first time, the league's passing attempts outnumbered total rushing attempts, making pass rushing more critical. LT was at the center of this shift, redefining defensive play. Before LT came on the scene, the left tackle was an important position, but not the most critical part of the offensive line. LT morphed the position into not just one of the most important, but the most important. The early 1980s was when the left tackle's role changed. That was when teams started recruiting more athletic, big, and strong left tackles to protect their quarterbacks from star defensive linemen like Taylor. Still, few truly succeeded against him. Taylor's talent and aggressiveness in disrupting plays and causing turnovers made him the most feared defender in the league. His most memorable moment as a pass rusher happened in 1985, when he achieved one of the most iconic moments in the NFL. In a Monday Night Football game, Taylor sacked Washington quarterback Joe Theismann so hard that Theismann's leg broke on the hit. Taylor was immediately a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. The year he was a rookie, he received both NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and NFL Defensive Player of the Year, a record that no one else had ever reached. His ability to take over games was unparalleled. He was a quarterback's worst nightmare, and coaches devised entire strategies around stopping him. Yet, he still found ways to dominate. His best season came in 1986, with a staggering 20.5 sacks, leading the Giants to an impressive 14-2 record and winning NFL MVP, a rarity for defensive players. The Giants' defense under Taylor's leadership crushed everyone that year. His energy and leadership were a big part of the team securing their first-ever Super Bowl victory. Due to LT's dominance, opposing teams were forced to recruit stronger and more skilled offensive linemen to protect quarterbacks' blind sides, proving how he changed the game. Bill Belichick, who coached LT with the Giants, once said, "Lawrence Taylor changed the game. There was no player like him before, and there hasn't been one since," highlighting his impact on football. But Taylor's performances were not just about roles and numbers. He had a unique presence on the field. He played with so much vigor and strength that he made his teammates give it their all, while his opponents, on the other hand, were terrified of him. Offensive players always had to know where he was, as he often wreaked havoc in their game. He was a linebacker who was not just a star player, but a one-man show. After his MVP season in 1986, he had more years of dominating the NFL. He took home 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, earned 10 Pro Bowl selections, and played a crucial role in the Giants' Super Bowl victory in 1990. The fact that he could take over a game with just one play was what made him a player unlike any other. In 1990, LT signed a contract that made him the highest-paid defensive player at the time, a deal that helped propel the Giants to their second Super Bowl victory. He finished his career in 1993, and when he left, he had already earned 132.5 career sacks, an even more astounding feat considering he had no registered sacks in his first year. The only linebacker in NFL history to win MVP remains the only linebacker ever to be crowned MVP, proving his uniqueness and irreplaceability. Though Taylor's successful football career was filled with honor, his life away from it was much more challenging. The tragedies of life that came along with fame and success also brought struggles. He always had some involvement in the court and often stumbled along the way. The hardest part, I think, was living with dependence on substances. In those days, he admitted his use of drugs and alcohol, even the day before a match. His talent made him one of the best, but his off-field issues often became more famous than he was. According to the NFL, he was often suspended by the league. Then his strong will allowed him to return uninjured and fully engaged in the game. Anyway, after a while, it was no longer cheerful, as he had to face depressive behaviors, run-ins with the law, and financial problems. His life after football was just one trouble after another. In the end, his problems became a serious threat to his legacy. There have been great defensive players in NFL history, but no one has had more influence on the game than Lawrence Taylor. He was not only the top linebacker of his day, but changed the standard of the game. His proficiency in rushing the quarterback was an atypical challenge for teams to counter on every single play. Even today, players examine Taylor's playbook to study how he did it. Modern pass rushers such as Von Miller, Micah Parsons, and TJ Watt, who all acknowledge Taylor as their hero, follow in his footsteps. His footprint is on every single linebacker in today's football league, which is known for its level of toughness and power. His spectacular play aside, we should not ignore the fact that among the numerous respects paid to him were the greatest honors. He became a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame during his first year of eligibility in 1999. The New York Giants retired his number, 56, ensuring that no other player is eligible to wear it. No big name like Taylor's ever tops the table whenever the conversation about the best defensive player ever comes up. Lawrence Taylor was more than just a football player. He was a revolution, a game changer, and a force that could not be stopped. His legacy remains strong, and he continues to inspire generations of athletes. Watch his highlights, listen to his interviews, and see why he is considered the GOAT of defense. His impact on the game will never fade, and his story is one of greatness, struggle, and ultimate success. Want to see more about NFL legends? Stay tuned for more stories about the greatest players in football history.